We are though.
Yes.
Period. Okay. Greetings. What is so funny?
It's just funny how you just fell into it like that. Greetings.
Hello.
You are tuned in to yet another.
Can I do it? If you are tuned in, then you are tuned in to yet another. Fantastic. Wonderful. Amazing. I want to get another adjective. Exciting. I think we used that. I like that. And then, most importantly, successful. Show. 419 show. I'm your favorite homegirl, Terrence Simone, aka T Money with the money, aka T Money with the honey, aka Terrence Simone, and I make the niggas mom ask about me.
Oh yeah.
Period. And of course, we got Wizard Kelly on the 1s, 2s, and 3s. And then we have a special guest. Tell them who you is.
What's up, y'all? My name is Tyrus, and I am a friend of Terrence, and we about to talk about some shit.
Yes, we went to high school together.
Yes.
Period. So, yes, we're going into a very interesting topic today. Not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, but it's all good. It's okay. It's okay. But of course, we're going to go ahead and get into. Oh well, first, we ain't got no wine. You know, we smoke blunts, we take shots, and all that good shit. But I made this little drink for all of us.
Bartender ran.
And I'm gonna call it. I don't know what to call it. We gonna call it 007.
Boom. I like that.
All right. So this is a chick. There you go.
You do the background noise. I got you.
There it is. So this cheers is to life and Mo Life and the Drake album because I like it.
I like it too.
I like it too.
Right. Everybody
We're gonna
chooses.
get into that at
It's
the end.
fine.
Exactly. All right. So boom. Let's see how it tastes. Let's hope I did a good job.
Okay.
It's got a little bit of jalapeno in there if y'all can't taste
Oh
it.
yeah. It's a little
I really
spicy.
can.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. You can't taste it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
I taste that tequila.
Yeah, 007, I told you. Okay, and we got Salinas shirt on, Salinas. But okay, boom. So let's go ahead and get into the show. Of course, we're going to start off with the wonderful affirmation of the day from our good girl, Louise Hay. Hey. So, today's affirmation is, I will let go of my worries. I will focus my energy on only what I can control. I must say once more. I will let go of my worries. I will focus my energy on only what I can control. I feel that.
What I can control.
But it's all about what you can control.
Yes.
Because these gas prices, I cannot control.
I felt that.
Well, okay.
I
That one
can.
hit right here.
The inflation,
That
I
hurt.
cannot control.
Man.
But what
Rent?
I wish I can control,
Man.
but I cannot. But the whole, no, I feel like that's a real good one because I feel like just those things right there are things that we know that we don't really have any control over. But it's really taking a heavy turmoil on all of our lives. So just focus on what you can control. You can control on, making sure that your health is good. You can control on, doing things that make you happy. You gotta,
We got some control.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have control. You have an option with everything that you do.
Facts.
It's always how you react to things. So that's where it starts. So I
And
like
I
that.
personally feel like that's like everybody's one of their personal like battles, trying to figure out what type of like influence you have over the shit that you really don't have no control over.
Facts.
And I feel like once you get to the point where you just let that go, like
Life is so
you can-
much easier.
You start to actually choose to be happy.
Yeah.
Like
Have y'all-
choosing to try to control something you can't control.
Have y'all ever heard of the book, The Celestine Prophecy? No?
Not
No.
ringing the bell.
What about, what's that other book? The Alchemist? The Alchemist? Okay, so The Celestine Prophecy is pretty much the same story. It's someone that's going on a journey and they're trying to, figure out what it's basically one of those things like what comes to you type of story. And it's really good. I started reading it and I would suggest.
I would definitely try.
Yeah, I haven't read The Alchemist yet, but when I heard about the Celestine Prophecy, people always say that they're kind of two of the most similar stories. So if you haven't read the Celestine Prophecy, get into it. If you have, tell me and give me a summary so I can just put the book down.
On the 419 show, we read books.
Yes.
Period.
Try to.
Yeah,
at
we
least.
try.
I want to start a book
Or
club.
Audible. I
Yeah.
like Audible more.
That's reading. I say that's
Because
reading.
I don't
This
really
is
have
the
the
future.
time to actually sit down and take time to actually physically read. But
I like
listening
that.
to it, you can do it while you're
Listening
working,
to
while you're in the car.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess that's why I listen to podcasts.
True,
Yeah.
that too. I love that.
I'd rather hear natural conversation than like narrated conversation, if that makes a difference. If that makes sense.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, some artists they actually do it, like Kiki Palmer's book. She
She did
actually
it
has it where
herself.
she narrates it herself, and she
I
talks
like
to her.
that too.
Mm.
I like that too.
Okay,
Jennifer
now I can-
Lewis
They're telling
has
the
a book,
story
she does
how
it
it's
too.
supposed to be told, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I can get jiggy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, well, enough of this. Let's get into the topic. So, today we're talking about something that a lot, and before we got here today, it was like a few posts that I saw on Instagram that we're going to go over probably later if we have time.
But first,
But first, we're going to get into,
this disclaimer.
you say it.
Alright, so we're having this conversation for the sake of conversation.
Amen.
We're trying to have a open, opinionated dialogue. We're not trying to step on anybody's toes. We're not trying to offend anybody. If you are offended, feel free to let us know. We're not too good to apologize. You know what I'm saying? Anything like that. We're not trying to offend anybody, but we just want to have a real conversation, not some sugar coated, soft, cuddly
Yes.
shit.
Everybody's opinion is their opinion. Okay.
So if you don't like us, you don't like us.
Right.
And it
You don't
doesn't
like
make
what we talk
anyone
about.
else's opinion right and yours wrong. It's just
Yeah, it's just an opinion.
Amen. Sponsored by Astro Projects. Okay, so let's get into it. So, me and you had already talked about it. You know, one of the videos that brought this conversation up is just the challenges and backlash in the LGBTQ community, more so the trans community, because there's been a lot of hoopla about, them, transgenders. And I don't even know if transgender is the right word. I still kind of.
Transgender, transsexual, I don't.
That's why I'll just stick with trans.
Yeah, trans.
Trans and athlete and athletics. Just a whole array. So the first thing that I can think of when I first started thinking about or noticing a lot of backlash or opinions from the trans community was Dwayne Wade and his daughter. And Zaya, is it Zaya or
Zaya Wade.
Zaya Wade. So I actually discussed this a long time ago with Taj on ITRN. Shout out to Tajila. And we had my best friend Raymond on the show, and he had made a statement saying that basically not I'm trying to make sure I word this correctly. What Dwayne Wade and Zaya Wade, specifically Zaya, the transition that she was going through was considered like a mental illness. And I recall back in school when I took sex humanity that gender dysphoria was a definition or a term that we learned, and that was basically saying that, and I got
That's
a definition.
exactly what it is.
Is a term that describes a sense of unease that a person may have because of a mismatch between their biological sex and their gender identity. So,
Yes.
how do you feel about that? Because I know some people, you'll hear some people say, oh, it's a disease, and then they on your neck about it.
Mhm.
And then there's other people that are on the ladder, and they're more so,
Yeah.
open to it.
Yeah. I feel like with everything, it has a scientific name to it. With trans and gender dysphoria, I do feel like it is a name to what that saying an illness or mental health issue to people that just rings.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what something's
You
wrong
coming
with
for
you.
me,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's really just what it is. That's what it is when someone is in one body, one gender, they think that they're another gender. That's just what it's called. It's gender dysphoria. So I do think that is the scientific name for what it is called, for what trans is.
Yeah.
But there is a whole bunch of other definitions for what the whole experience of being trans is. So yeah, I definitely agree with that's what it is. I just feel like the stigma of things, or just people are so sensitive where now it's just like,
You walking on edge.
oh my God, you're saying I'm crazy or something. No, we're not saying that. We're just saying that's just what it is. But I feel like some people weaponize it as well. So that's why people.
I just want to point out that certain phobias are also considered mental illness. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, or a disease.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, just because, like, just to put it into perspective, just because you don't feel comfortable about something or certain situations and you have a phobia of that does not make you crazy. You
Right,
get what I mean?
mentally ill.
Right.
Mentally ill, even though it falls into the category of a mental illness. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because a phobia isn't an actual disease. You get what I'm saying? It's literally mental.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to put that in perspective like that. So
Yeah,
I
I like
don't
that.
personally think that you should, like any trans person who, if anyone mentions the gender dysphoria,
should feel offended.
yeah,
innocent.
basically.
Yeah, I feel
No.
that because I mean, like
I
you
feel
said,
that's just like
it's
category
a
to fit
scientific word for everything. Like
Right.
it's a scientific word for this damn cup on this damn
Right.
table. So it's like I personally don't think it's a disease. I mean, if you uncomfortable with your body, if you want to be whoever you want to be, then you be whoever you want to be. But when it comes to like athletics and children, that's where I get a little.
Yeah.
okay, that's the second time you've mentioned that.
And let's get into it.
Let's get into it. So it's really funny because we set this whole episode up before this whole situation, so the situation was actually transpiring when we set this whole situation up with the guy who decided to the Olympic
Swimmer?
the swimmer,
Leah Thomas.
Leah, who decided that she was going to be trans after so many years of becoming an adult and then participating in the Olympics as a man. And then she decided that, I feel like we can't tell anybody how things go. You know what I'm saying? But she decided that she was a woman, or that's what she's always been, and then came out like that, and then became a trans woman, and everything like that, and then started competing against, cis women. So how do you guys feel about the decision of her not being able to compete against these women?
Yeah, because I was just about to say they just posted that yesterday, saying that they
yesterday. So
they
we
banned
had
her.
already said this whole
Yeah,
this
that's
whole
and
interview
those are the posts
and
that I
this
said.
happened.
I said literally, I saw the post literally probably 2 hours before we started. I was like,
I saw it yesterday.
I did.
So I was like,
I was on social media,
and
so-
I read the comments and the general energy of the
Consensus
comments.
was-
I agree.
what was the comments? I'm pretty
So,
sure people was like,
I've
yeah.
actually been keeping my eye on this story for a few months. They've been talking about it, it's been bubbling up.
I
But
feel like it's a big trans conversation.
yeah, and I want to preference this whole conversation. I know we did disclaimer at the beginning, but I want to also say Happy Pride Month. It is.
Okay.
It is
Yeah,
Pride
Happy
Month.
So Happy Pride Month. I am a queer man, so yeah. Okay,
I have another
so
question about that too. Keep going.
my opinion on that, I feel like if she is a trans woman, okay, but your scholarship was for a male swimmer, and now and what people don't like to really talk about and really get into is when you think of a male's physical and a woman's physical, no matter how many hormones you're taking to feminize yourself or break down your bone, you're still DNA, you're still a man. So you're naturally stronger. You naturally have testosterone. So you're a female swimmer now, but you're beating all of these natural women because you still have testosterone running through your body. So I feel like it's not fair.
I never thought it was fair. First off. Second off, how do you feel, sidebar, how do you feel about her saying that she never felt fulfilled competing against men?
Did you say Furfield?
Yes.
Hi, Jocelyn. Furfield.
Furfield.
That's how I say it.
I'm screaming.
Fulfilled. But at competing against men, she never, he at the time, but she never felt, competent Since y'all don't like fulfill. Competing against men. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that she never, ended up in the top ranks like how she did when she started competing against women.
I hate, I don't even want to say this, but I mean, doesn't that just mean like when you were competing with men, maybe you just
weren't good enough?
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I ain't never played sports.
Yeah.
But I mean, that just sounds like that. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it really just sounds like a big old ball of entitlement that be coming from these people's mouths sometimes. But at the same time, I understand.
I understand,
but
as a whole, I feel like it's not fair because one, you're still a male, so it's kind of like a male beating a whole bunch of women. And I know that sounds harsh, but it's the reality, and it's like
I feel like if it was in a case where they went through the procedure where they changed your whole entire like sexual reproductive system, like they chop your penis off or something like that. Not chop it off.
No, it's really the balls, but we'll get into that later, I guess.
Well, you go through that surgery to like take away like your penis and they do the reconstructive surgery to make it into a vagina. Then in that case, I'll be like, hey, you a woman.
But see, that's
you got a pussy.
Misconception. A lot of trans women don't fully go through with the whole surgery. A lot of them still have their male parts. Yeah. They just have breasts. To each his own. I feel maybe that wouldn't be the lipness or whatever to. I would say is if you go as far as to change your name and your gender. Like on your driver's license and like in courts and all that shit, then yeah. But I feel like if we go by that, then I'm just gonna say they. Yeah, so I'm not disrespectful, but I would say they, if they're still going by their male name, competing and swimming, and your scholarship is still under this name, then I feel like, and if you're transitioning, then you shouldn't. She should get this scholarship if you're that good, but you got it because you are a male. That scholarship
competing against women.
So I don't know.
So this is my final question as far as the athletics part goes. So the Olympic board made rules when they decided to not let her qualify to compete with women. They made rules basically saying that for the transgender specifically, that they have to have started their started their transition like the actual hormones and everything at the age of 12. Basically saying that they so that basically there's in situations like Zaya and other people like
was she 12?
I think she was 13, but you know what I'm saying, close enough. Like there's a lot of trans people who basically identify as trans at that age, but they're saying that at the age of 12, if you start suppressing hormones as far as like being a male, like you're suppressing your male hormones to be a woman, or taking estrogen and everything like that, then you could qualify to compete against women, like basically saying that you never went through like your adolescent or puberty.
Well, at least they're compromising then.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Like if you were suppressing it at that time where most young men go through puberty,
then that's fair.
I feel like that's totally fair.
Yeah. So okay, what were you about to say?
Well, I was going to just say to speak into the 12 having to be 12. That's one thing that they do like with younger trans kids, like because 12 is like that pivotal age where you start going into puberty stuff. If you've been taking hormones, it kind of like for males, it prevents like your balls from dropping, prevents you from like your voice getting deep, like your hair, like facial and hair and shit growing. So it's kind of like if you've been transforming from that age, you physically look like a woman because you skip. It's kind of like, for me, I feel like it's wordplay. It's like they try to make these rules and shit to like.
Science is crazy.
But it's weird. But I feel like if they're going by that, then yeah, she shouldn't be able to swim.
So going back into the topic of like children, I know before we started recording, we were talking about the boy that was on the pole. So, how do you feel? I saw a question. There's another podcast that I tuned into. These dudes I went to school with. Their podcast is called Perspective Junkie. Shout out to them. They had a topic on their story one day, just regarding to children. Like, do you think children should be allowed to attend like a pride parade or go to a drag show or stuff like that? And I was like, I don't see no problem with it if they, especially if it's not being forced, like not like somebody's dragging their hand to the drag show, like you gonna go see these folks dance. Like, it's just, if they want to go, then they want to go. Like, I remember seeing little kids Vogue before I started seeing grown men Vogue. So I don't see any issue with it. I think it's, especially with the whole pole shit, like, come on now. It's exercise. Form of art.
Personally,
my kids said they want to go to the pride.
I don't see, I feel like the drag show by itself isn't like the environment. That just seemed like more so to me like the gay club environment, and I just don't feel like kids belong at clubs.
What if it's like one of those, like they have other things that make it like more familial, like it's not, I mean, not all the way kid friendly, but it's kid friendly.
I've only seen it on TV and it looks like a club to me.
They have like drag restaurants where you go have food and then they doing drag shows.
I don't feel like that's the same.
That's a drag
like
show
saying
though.
Kids can't go into Hooters. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They can? I thought you had to be 21 and up.
I was gonna compare that though. Yeah. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But I was gonna compare that. I feel like with them trying to say, oh, kids can't go to drag shows or pride parades, but dads drag their sons and stuff into Hooters.
They strip clubs.
And on their 18th birthday, they take them to the strip club. So for me, I would say everything, it has to be age appropriate. Like, we're going back to what you were saying, like if it's, I've seen like some type of drag where it's like kid friendly, where they're like, it's a kid's play or something. But if it's like RuPaul's Drag Race, where like they're like half naked, like dancing to like, music. No, if it's in that type of setting, no. As far as parades, I feel like no and yes. I feel like it's again age appropriate. Younger kids should not go to pride parades because it's a lot of,
I feel like it's a lot of nudity.
Shit that goes on. It's a lot of nudity, but it's a lot of sex that goes on because, the gays,
I never been to
they
a pride parade,
love
so
the
that's
party.
the
They be out there butt ass naked.
I just feel like they be out there naked. That's the only reason I feel like kids shouldn't go. But like, if it was like an actual like, the city hosting and it's like, security, police or whatever, like they're not gonna let nobody walk around naked. I don't see what no problem is for no child to be at a parade. It don't matter what the parade is about. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But like the pride parade specifically, maybe not.
Cause it's a lot of shit, and a lot of folks don't give a fuck because they make my kids. So it's just like, I don't care what, I'm here to have my time. But it kind of, even with Dwayne Wade, when he took Zaya a few years ago, I believe that was within the last few years, he took Zaya to a pride parade. I believe that was before she came out as trans. But I was like, ugh. Even then I was like, that's not the place for
maybe it's just
a young child.
I guess that's my ignorance because I've never been. I've been to a drag show. Like, I've been to Lips. Like, I know I wouldn't take no child to Lips.
Yeah,
because they be naked.
Is that not the club though?
It's not a club. I mean,
lounge is a club.
No, it's a restaurant. You sit down and eat.
Mm-hmm. It's probably a club.
No, I mean it's a
restaurant.
It's a restaurant. You sit.
Real?
Yeah, you
It's
sit
like
down
a
and eat.
Restaurant lounge.
I wouldn't even say a lounge. You can't just sit in there and parlay.
Yeah.
Do they have hookah?
It's a club.
I don't think they have
I don't
hookah.
think they got hookah.
Nah, that's
Can
smoke.
you smoke weed in there?
No.
Oh, okay, it might not be a club.
It's on Buford Highway. It's very close.
Interesting. That's probably why you went.
I've been before I even, started being out in this way. Can't be too specific on where I stay now.
But
On camera.
But so you agree that it's not for kids?
I mean, lips, no. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids, nor have I been to a pride parade. I've been to a drag show. I've been to, a few.
I've never been to a pride.
You never been to pride? No, really.
I mean, but we stay here and we've seen it. I've seen it though, right?
Right. I've been on Piedmont and went across the crosswalk. That's right, though.
I'm talking about like on social media or something.
That's the closest I done been. It's Piedmont Hill, the Beltline.
I've never been to the Beltline.
What? The Beltline is pretty lit. I like it.
But maybe it's just not for kids. Like you said, age appropriate. Age appropriate.
Well, I mean, I don't. As far as like the pride parade, I don't see a problem with it. The drag show, I can see an issue with it. But I see where y'all coming from. Kid friendly all the time.
I just feel like kid friendly.
Yeah, amen. I agree. So, how much time we got?
We're just gonna cut the video. Keep going.
Okay. So I guess now we can get into the video. That's how we started our conversation.
Yeah.
The video that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll put a clip of it in right now.
Yes.
I'm about to show it to you. We're going to cut this part. I sent it to you.
It's got nothing to do with the realities. You can feel however you want. Well, that's got nothing to do with the realities. You can feel however you want. I mean, I can sit here and say that I feel like a tomato plant, but that doesn't mean that I'm actually in those things. So your self-perception, you can have whatever self-perception you want.
I love white people. I love when they say stupid shit like that.
To take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production, you don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions.
Man, did y'all see Saucy Santana at whatever proper? He was like, when they need their makeup done, they call them motherfucking gays. We the blueprint to these motherfuckers. I was like,
I agree with him.
What you mean?
See, I feel like.
Wait, save it.
Yeah. He's going to fuck in.
Yeah. And then they just speechless. They don't know what to say. And that's my problem. Like, when you really start questioning shit.
Actually, because just like the 4-year-old can't answer what is a girl. Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology is that no one who espouses it can even
He's
tell
talking
you
about
what these
left.
words mean.
On their
Can
ass.
you tell me what a woman is?
So you're a Republican.
When do you define
You just heard him say, no, I can't.
These words mean. It's like, what is a woman? Can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. When do you define a woman as?
An adult human female. You know, here's the thing: when you're a female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we can dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being. I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not myself.
You used the word, so what did you mean? You said trans women are women.
It's like 2 minutes.
Right. So here's the thing. So I do not
My whole thing
define
about
what a
this
woman is because
woman
I do not identify
is
as
why
one.
she ain't trying to do it.
Womanhood
Shut up.
is something that is an umbrella term. It includes
Umbrella.
That describes what?
people who identify as a
The straddle
woman.
on the fence thing.
And identify as what?
He about to get on his ass.
What is that?
What is that?
Tell me
You
what
want
the
to
word
reduce,
means, though. So
you
that's
want to
the
reduce
problem.
women, you want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're
What you
saying.
want to do is
That's what
what
we're
you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood and turn it into basically a costume that can be worn.
Period.
Oh wow. Okay. Let's definitely get into this. Let's look at the time.
So,
The time is unlimited at this point.
so I'll say
Whoa!
you said we're gonna cut it.
All right, let's just talk about our reactions to the video time.
Okay.
It was intense. So there was a caption at the top said, "Bruh." This was intense. It was intense because I felt good points on both sides, and just like from the delivery, bruh's an asshole.
Right. I definitely said that too. Like he definitely could have delivered it in a way better,
Delivery.
gentle tone.
Yeah,
Delivery is always key.
Yeah,
always,
it is.
always.
I'm learning that.
Perception is everything.
Yes.
So, but because like without, I mean, perception is that's all you have. Your own perspective. But shit. Okay, I mean, I guess there is a textbook definition, but at the same time, if you go with a textbook definition for everything, you're the same type of person who believes that we evolved from primates.
From monkeys?
From monkeys.
Right.
I'm not a monkey.
Right. Okay.
I believe in God. And I also want to throw out a scientific fact saying that if you believe in genetic mutation, you know, from the scientific standpoint, genetic mutation, birth defects, you know, and things like that, then I also believe that it's possible to mentally birth one gender and they come out a different gender. Like, I feel like that's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to discredit that. I don't feel that personally for myself. I've seen all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kids who are born with an extra chromosome. Like,
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, and like to
Yes.
people who are quote unquote like us, and I'm using this term loosely, regular, as in don't have that extra chromosome. We're looking like that's fucking
Get
crazy.
your big
You get what I'm
ass
saying?
head.
That's the oddball out. But yeah.
But
I
you get what I'm
definitely
saying?
agree.
So
Yeah.
like, I feel like it's possible. I'm not no scientist. I'm not finna try to prove this shit. So if they say it, I'm gonna believe them.
Right.
So
I agree with you. I definitely agree. I feel like it's very much possible. I'm not gonna argue with how someone else feels and
Facts.
how they want to be represented and how they want to be and how they want to live their life.
Yeah.
I'm not disputing with that. I try to be respectful. I will address the trans person as such. However, there are things that I do feel like they're just, it's kind of confusing, even as someone who's a part of the community, you know, because it's like, just like when the doctor, he asks this certain question, just simple question, what is a woman? You couldn't answer.
they couldn't answer.
You couldn't answer. And then you're trying to say it's an umbrella term. So I'm like, wait, a woman is an umbrella term? So I'm like, I have a mother, I have a grandmother, I have different women in my life, I have friends who's a woman, you know. So you're saying that a woman is an umbrella term. I don't agree with that.
A term that you can choose to be.
Yeah. And it kind of soothes, and I'm such an ally for trans women, but it does, no shade, it does kind of like swing to like, I understand kind of, not totally, why people are confused, or when you try to explain it, you don't have proper explanation, and they just be like, okay, fuck it, I don't know, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I
And
feel
people
like
don't
you
want to
should
have
put
that
forth the effort.
conversation, but it's just like, we got to get on one accord, you know?
Because what are you supposed to say when they come and ask you? You get what
I'm
I'm
not
saying?
a trans woman,
I'm
so
just, I'm saying as an ally.
Right.
You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Now you don't know what to say because they didn't explain it to you. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't know, that's not you, type shit.
Right.
My question is like, and I don't want to step on any toes or whatever, but do you personally feel like, as far as like the public standing for the community, the LGBTQ plus community, do you feel like the T in that makes it harder for you guys to be, the rest of the community to be equal with everyone else, quote unquote? Like the fight that you guys have been fighting this whole time. Because I feel like the whole conversation has been changed at this point.
I don't feel solely because of the trans community. It puts like overall the best thing. I feel like we all, as together, the L's, the G's, the B's, you know, we all contribute, and I feel like people don't try to understand us because it's just like, if it's different from what your normal is, it's just like, okay, fuck it, I don't know. But at the same time, I feel like we still run the world because we create the fashions. Any designer piece you look at, it's a man who made it. Dresses, everything.
A man who likes men.
Right. Like choreography, the dancers, the people who are choreographing, like who are, you know, Beyonce, like everybody. We do their hair, they hair, they makeup, the stylist. But it's kind of like at the same time we're still used as an accessory because it's just like you take everything from us, like our culture. I'm not saying you all women, but it's kind of like that in general. And it's just like we still get pushed to the side. It's like it's kind of you pick and choose what you want from us, like our language, like our lingo, our fashion sense, styling, and then it's just okay, whatever. But then at the same time, I feel like it's a lot of women who don't. So
I just feel like, without women, where would this, sense of fashion or, etc. would come from? I mean, as far what is gay culture? Like, I feel like I can put so much into that.
everything, fashion, our
I mean, Versace was gay.
yes,
No, they're all of the European,
all of them.
every single one of them. There's not a straight one
No,
except Virgil.
maybe.
Virgil had a white family.
Okay.
We would not.
Oh man!
Move forward.
Allegedly.
What the fuck?
Move forward.
But yeah, like fashion, our lingo, yes, like everything. But we also, I feel like we still have to pay homage to women because y'all are what we are modeling our fashion and everything off of. So I feel like we can't erase you, and I feel like I don't feel like the whole trans community tries to erase y'all, but I can see the competition there, like between cis women and trans.
I'm screaming.
I've been waiting on this. Okay, for you, Ren,
Oh Lord.
do you feel like, just a transition from what he said, do you feel like trans women try to replace real women, or are they trying to stand next to you guys?
Say that again.
Do you feel like trans women are trying to like replace you guys?
I don't think that at all.
Okay.
I don't get that vibe. I mean, I've never had that vibe that we were trying to be replaced. I mean, yeah, I have no comment.
You never thought
Would
that?
you see how you looking? Don't be afraid. This is a safe space.
No, I never felt like that. That's my first time ever even hearing something like that. As far as like
Really?
being
So you've seen it on social media as
I've
well?
seen it, like
that they trying to replace
Oh.
us. How?
I don't.
Unless all
they
these
trying-
motherfuckers, excuse me. Unless all these.
Jesus.
No, but for real, unless every motherfucker is just gonna go and get a pussy all of a sudden, like you can't replace us. Like we still gotta have babies.
Y'all in the blueprint.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I'm like. Saucy Santana talking about y'all the blueprint. I'm like, now wait a minute. I fuck with y'all.
If you get into what blueprint means, then
Yeah, not
unfortunately,
being like
Oh, I'm being too.
essence of a woman,
I'm talking
just
about
like
you're right. That's what I was saying.
Okay. I was like, am I being too like literal?
Okay, so
I don't know.
for you, how y'all feel about it?
I feel like this was great.
Yes.
Glad we was able to go ahead and get that off.
Yes.
I thought I had another post, but it looked like whoever it was, they deleted it.
See,
Do
this
you
should be
feel like y'all
controversial.
gonna get canceled?
I don't know.
No,
y'all.
I feel
We'll
like
see.
we even though we wanted to be comfortable and talk about what we wanted to talk about, I feel like we were still
Yeah.
very respectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping we don't get canceled. Don't cancel.
There's already an episode that says don't cancel 419.
Don't cancel part 2. No, but no, I feel like we're okay. I feel like this is really opening the door to other conversations.
Yeah, I think that's the.
Yeah.
I think that's the issue. I think that people are so uncomfortable talking about it that you try to avoid the conversation because you already know the consequences. Even if it's just somebody that you're talking to, maybe at like at work or anything, because that's what they tell you, not talk about religion or politics, anything at work, because it will start some
Sexual
drama.
orientation.
They was talking about politics and racism
Just
at work the
got into
other day. Somebody got sent home.
For real?
Yes.
What?
Don't talk. There's just some things that you just don't talk about in some certain areas. But I feel like if it's a space where everything is understood and everybody got tough
Me
skin.
personally, I'm gonna talk about it. I don't mean no fuck.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk about it. Send me home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pop my shit.
Right. One thing about me, I'm gonna talk about it,
Like the racism shit.
but I'm gonna talk about it like on the low, man.
I'm loud.
I don't. I'd be like, none of my business.
I'm gonna protect.
But when I get home and I'm on the phone with my friends, I got all the details. Like, girl, they said this,
and
they
that.
said that. It was a mess.
Well, let me clarify. I'll only say something if I hear something disrespectful towards black people
Yeah.
or the community. Then I'll be like, wait, what?
Alright, hold on now.
Right.